Hello, and welcome to Town Hall 2025. I'm your moderator, Daniel Crow. The original Town Hall was hosted by Jack Faust, a true giant of Oregon history from 1980 until 1993. Town Hall was a weekly public affairs program on Channel 2, featuring discussions, often contentious, between public officials, experts, and everyday Oregonians on topics that range from the serious, like child abuse, to the somewhat less so, like Bigfoot. Halfway through his run, Jack even had on a young 16-year-old from Mount Angel on his way to West Point. Yours truly. With Jack's blessing, it is my great honor and solemn responsibility to carry on the baton that Jack carried so well. Our goal here is to revive that spirit of robust, peaceable public debate, which has always characterized our Oregon way. Together, I think that we can do some good for all of our people. And we began with Series 1, the race for Oregon Republican Party Chair 2025. Soon to come, Series 2, the race for Oregon Democratic Party Chair 2025. If you, our audience, decide that talking with one another rather than past one another is preferable, well, maybe we'll be getting to know each other a little bit better. Welcome to Town Hall, Series 1, the race for Oregon Republican Party Chair 2025. This is the slot that we had reserved for Councilmember Angelita Sanchez's episode. Angelita is also the head of Timber Unity, and she had agreed to be our guest. To make our filming schedule for Town Hall Series 1, the race for Oregon Republican Party Chair 2025, we reached out to all 7 declared candidates for Oregon Republican Party Chair on January 23rd, 2025. All candidates were offered a series of slots between 5 February and 14 February. The slots were offered at the same time to all candidates, and all candidates were informed, again at the same time, that the slots were first come, first served. Councilmember Sanchez accepted our invitation and selected Sunday, February 9th at noon as her slot. In reliance on her acceptance, we publicized her appearance alongside the other candidates. As we have said before, we are not here to select a winner. We are merely here to allow them to be interviewed in greater depth. For each episode, before their appearance, we provide each candidate a standard notification not later than the morning of their appearance. The notification is sent via email and lists the hyperlink to their particular episode, as well as the quote-unquote ground rules for the program. You can hear our ground rules in their entirety for yourself at the beginning of each episode. And I would also note that none of our other candidate guests have objected to those ground rules. Among other details, the ground rules explain, 1, that we are beginning this version of Town Hall with 2 special series. Series 1, the race for Oregon Republican Party Chair 2025, and Series 2, the race for Democratic Party Chair 2025. 2, that we are filming the Republican candidates first because their convention occurs first. 3, which candidates have agreed to appear. And 4, the subject areas we intend to cover: your executive experience, Oregon culture and political history, and your vision of the role of the Oregon Republican Party going forward. As well as, we remind them that no candidate guests get the questions ahead of time. In addition, we note, and I quote, "Each candidate is a guest, and this is Oregon. Therefore, each guest will be treated with compassion, dignity, and respect. But these men and women are campaigning for a position of public responsibility. Therefore, my questions are designed to be neither easy nor comfortable to answer." It should be noted that this level of advance notice that we provide is, in our experience, unprecedented in public affairs programming. Ordinarily, you show up cold and the host just starts asking you questions. But we want every candidate guest, regardless of party, to have the best chance to present their best case for their candidacy. In the week leading up to her scheduled taping, Councilmember Sanchez communicated with us multiple times. She expressed some concerns about what we were going to ask her, and we informed her that none of the candidates were going to receive the questions beforehand and that all will be treated fairly and equally. Unfortunately, 32 minutes before her scheduled appearance, Councilmember Sanchez sent us an email informing us that she had decided to not participate after all. In her email, Councilmember Sanchez justified her decision by stating, and I quote, "I'm troubled that non-Republicans have been requested to participate in their own event on this platform. None of the candidates should be comfortable speaking freely now. The opposition party is famous for editing and taking comments out of context. Why broadcast it so they can pick it apart? Close quote. Councilmember Sanchez then indicated that she was, however, prepared to, quote, respond to your, meaning naturally our, questions in writing, close quote. 48 hours before the last available slot that we could arrange, which is today on Friday, February 14th, we reached out again to Councilmember Sanchez and asked her to reconsider her boycott. We also provided her with a copy of this commentary and invited her to provide any feedback which she thinks is appropriate, quote, to ensure that our explanation for your absence is factual, close quote. Lastly, we explained to Councilmember Sanchez why we needed to account for her absence. Having advertised her appearance based on her acceptance of our invitation, it would be unfair to our audience to not provide an explanation. As you can hear for yourself in our pre-taped introduction, this program exists to help us as Oregonians talk with each other rather than past one another. Without free discussion, the marketplace of ideas cannot function, and we oppose censorship of any kind because censorship is unworthy of a free people. Obviously, we are disappointed when any candidate guest cancels. Our only goal is to provide an opportunity at no cost to our candidate guests for them to speak on a more in-depth basis with their fellow Oregonians about matters which impact us all. In response to Councilmember Sanchez's stated concerns about having her words taken, quote, out of context, close quote, we are absolutely certain that you, our audience, are perfectly capable of telling the difference between actual news and cut-up propaganda. Moreover, as I reassured Councilmember Sanchez when I reached back out to her, quote, our program is copyrighted and any use of our material in an unfair way will not be tolerated, close quote. What you, our audience, take away from Councilmember Sanchez's decision is up to you. We believe in the old adage, every person is entitled to their own opinion, but no person is entitled to their own facts. And now you have the facts. We're joined, as we have been for every episode, by Baker County Republican Chair Danny Johnson, who has generously agreed to serve as our referee for Series 1. As you will remember, as our audience will remember, we intend to invite a senior party official who's universally respected and not committed to any candidate, and Danny Johnson has served that role for us during the taping of Series 1. Chair Danny Johnson, I now hand the floor over to you for your take on what I just read and what your understanding of the impact of this may or may not be.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm here to represent PCPs across Oregon. And I think it is unfortunate that Angelita has not attended this session. There are many delegates to the Republican conference on February 22nd in Portland that will not have any experience with many of these candidates. This venue is and will be in the future intended to be informational to those individuals that need to have some solace in the information that they have in regard to candidates before they put their mark on a ballot for choosing someone for the chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer of the ORP. I think that we've done as much as we can in regard to those candidates that have attended. We are pleased with the diversity of their personalities, their visions, as well as the just basic characteristics of who they are and what they stand for. And so I think that this has created a new venue that I haven't seen in Oregon for many, many years. And I think that at this point in time, as has been said, we need to start talking with one another, even if we're from other parties. It doesn't mean that we let go of our moral values and our ethical stand, in regard to issues. But we need to start speaking to one another so that our state and country can go beyond the vitriolic issues that we've had to deal with over the past 20, 30, or 40 years. And so thank you, Daniel. Thank you for the sponsors of this program for providing this effort to get us back to talking to one another. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Chair Johnson. As always, your comments are both heartfelt and deserve to be taken seriously. We shall see what the decision of the Oregon Republican Party is on the 22nd of February. But obviously, as I alluded to previously, the 14th of February was the absolute last date that we could offer to any of our candidates because we intend to post all of the videos at the same time that we've recorded all the episodes on tomorrow on the 15th. We thought that waiting any longer than that would be inappropriate because we do want the party that is making this decision to have at least a week to review each of these approximately 2-hour episodes. And right now we have 4 of them that are substantive episodes. One candidate, Richard Jolly, has chosen not to participate. Ms. Sanchez, Councilmember Sanchez, obviously has chosen to not appear or to withdraw her appearance. We never heard back from Mr. Jolly. And otherwise, we thank you all for your attention. We here at Town Hall 2025 wonder if maybe Oregon doesn't need more politics, but clearer politics. And maybe, just like teenagers, our politicians could benefit from clearer boundaries that you set. To support your responsibility for self-government, we are working to revive an Oregon where once we were able to disagree without being disagreeable. In the coming months, we hope to bring you, in their own words, leaders from all of our political parties. Thank you for joining us on Series 1, the race for Oregon Republican Party Chair 2025. Next up will be Series 2, the race for Democratic Party Chair 2025. I'm Daniel Crow, and this is Town Hall 2025. Until next time, let's keep talking.